Joyner Lucas, new single, Devil's Work, ADHD coming soon. I'm here for it. Last time Joyner had a big moment when it came to releasing one of his singles, it was the controversial but also heavily debatable what's that track? I'm Not Racist. And I actually enjoyed the conversation that came from that track. And everything, the time that he put into the video, the lyrics, the voice actors, I liked it. I appreciate Joyner, from the standpoint of a guy who's just, kind of growing outside of the element of, I want to rap just for the sake of rapping. I kind of have a little bit more substance to me than telling people I'm better than them because they don't rap as well as me. Not saying that he doesn't do that, because he has, but I'm just saying that recently I've found in his music he's kind of prioritized putting layers over himself or into himself and into his music a little bit more than just for the sake of bravado. This new track is called Devil's Work. It's a funeral from what y'all have told me on Twitter. Ready for the song? I'm the greatest. I'm probably not headed for it. Whoa. You in church with the Henny already? Wait, what? That's a big ass Bible.
Dear Lord, I got questions and I need answers. A bunch of lost souls on their feet standing. We supposed to be your children. Die young, we just need chances.
Okay, this is respectable. Questions for your believed creator. It's coming off passionate. I'm feeling him.
Trying to talk to these strippers, but they keep dancing.
Why are you talking to a stripper? Let her do her job. I think people forget, stripping is a quote unquote profession. It is still an occupation. I wish somebody would pull up to a fast food restaurant while the fucking cashier is getting their order together and ask for a side of therapy session. If you don't get your ass to the next window, just seriously though, what do you want the stripper to do? You want her to slowly serenade you and give you sweet nothings in your ear and tell you how great of a job you're doing in your personal life while she slowly slides the dollar bills out of your back pocket and proceeds to Cardi B you?
Everywhere I turn, I'm seeing MCs vanish. A lot of good niggas gone, I don't understand it. Cherry picking who should go next and who should stay.
Okay, so I see where he's going, asking God why you quote unquote take certain people and leave others. He's asking why, especially in the rap game, people that have already been through so much to get to this point, now that they're at this point, they're still not safe from the shit that they had to grow out of. And I get the frustration in that. I'm gonna let him finish.
Give us Tupac back and say that nigga shook. Let the legend resurrect and he gon' live for good.
Whoa. Huh? Look, we gotta make sure we don't become the thing we hate here, Joyner, okay? You can't just be offering up bodies, sacrificial pawns to get the ones that you think are great back. I'm of the opinion that Tupac was one of the greatest hip-hop artists of all time, but that doesn't mean that I knew the dude enough to sacrifice somebody else to get him to come back or trade or want somebody to trade spots with him. I don't fucking know Tupac. I don't know any of these people. We have an image of these artists that we like to believe in, but nothing of that can actually be verified until you know them personally. So you just like to believe it. Yeah, you like to think it. I'm not saying that he's not or any of these artists aren't great people, but to absolve them of anything wrong that they've ever done.
Give us Biggie, give us Pun, give us Triple X. Take that nigga Trump with you, that's a bigger threat.
So he's got the pictures of the people that he wants to go there. I get it, but I don't get how someone's political policies. Listen, not even saying that, because politics hurt people. Good people. It hurts them all the time. You're propping up your subjectivity of your view of these artists and making it the standard for what makes a good person and what doesn't, and then labeling anybody else that doesn't meet that standard that you set as people worthy of being offered as sacrifice to trade off with these people that you think are so amazing.
But how you say Selena, then you take a Leo with you. I ain't trying to disrespect, send them sucking straight to hell. They don't need a visual. I need you to give us back more.
Oh, that line is hard. I disagree with a lot right now, but that line, send them straight to hell. They don't need a visual. That's a hard line.
They say I'm on the wrong train. I know I'm on the right track. Cause Trayvon gone and all he did was try to fight true brother from us.
That sucks. It really does.
At least take Dylan Roof. At least take James Holmes. Lauren run a mouth and then she get defensive.
That's a little.
She teach them stupid hoes a lesson.
I agree with that. if he's asking to have these people be made examples out of in some way outside of death for being ignorant and stupid and spreading misinformation, then that's fine.
I know that you got a back and that you're not against us. Or maybe you just love it, so you doing shit to test us.
I love the intensity. Like his questions just keep piling up and piling up. All right, so this track, a lot of information, a lot of questions, a lot of frustration in Joyner, and I can empathize with that. You know, you always have questions, you always ask why some shit happens, but to really chalk up this track, it's not even anything to do with a god. You know, it's life. Outside of worshiping anything or outside of worshiping any deity, if you believe that life exists, which you have to because you exist, then you believe that death exists. Death is just a part of life. It's the end to a start, you know? And I don't see how God can take someone away when there's literal evidence of the people that took these people away and the things that happened to these people that made it so that they ended up dying. Whitney Houston, there is a reason. Michael Jackson, there is a reason. Nipsey Hussle, as unfortunate and as recent as that was, there's a reason. What God had to do with someone else pulling the trigger 6 times on Nipsey Hussle in front of his own business, I have no idea. Like, that doesn't make sense to me. And that's where I feel like religion just has taken such a huge step over spirituality. Like, I feel like if you believe in a deity, that's fine. But you should believe in, that deity. You shouldn't believe that they are responsible for everything that takes place in your life. Because if you believe that, then you'll always be frustrated and asking these questions when they don't need to be asked to the individual or to the thing or to the deity that you're asking the questions to. Like, what does he have to do with it? I've known people earlier on in life that would thank God for anything. I don't mind being thankful for just life and being thankful for living. That's fine. But saying God woke me up this morning, God's the reason I was able to brush my teeth this morning, God's the reason I'm walking right now. No, there are biological explanations for why you are doing what you're doing right now. It's just consistency. It's what makes sense. If you were able to do it today, there's no reason to believe that the next day you wouldn't be able to do it. And if you weren't, all of a sudden it's because God ordained it. He said, nah, fuck your legs, fuck everything. You ain't walking today. Not saying that hasn't happened, but it rarely ever happens. And I guess that's the point that I'm trying to make here at Joyner, is that just because you can exist as a shitty person doesn't mean God intervenes and says, fuck you. Like, shit just happens. Like, that explains my point. That explains and answers the question that Joyner has. Like, there is no bias when it comes to life. It's people are going to exist and then life is going to happen to them. That's it. Like, indiscriminately. Not only have you put too much responsibility on God for everything here, but you've also made these people that you were talking about in the song that you view as good into deities themselves too. Not saying that if you've messed up at some point in life you deserve to die, but you're essentially using and comparing imperfect people here and saying one should stay and one should go, simply based on whatever it is that they did, the severity just not affecting you as much. But I'm sure if you were a woman and XXXTentacion's allegations came out and then you read the transcript after that, I'm sure that would be a little bit more important for you than you not being in the political space and not fucking with Donald Trump. Where we mess up in rap is idolizing people and then propping them up above humanity as if they're not privy to the shit that happens in life. You put this person above life itself and then you're surprised when life happens to them. And that's what this song is, and that's what I don't love about it. I really like his lines here. I like where he's trying to go. The overall message itself, to me, is pretty corny. When I get into the whys of this track was made, like, he gets to the end and he says, I know this is just the devil's work. It's not even the devil's work. It's just people. When people learn to accept that people themselves and humanity themselves are tainted beings, then we can stop blaming everything on spirituality and deities and devils. You can get that out of the way. You can cut out the middleman. Not saying you can't believe, because I believe in stuff. I believe in deities. I believe in that stuff. But I would rather have the relationship with it. I would rather try to understand and study what I'm expressing my faith in, rather than hold myself to the religion or the rules that were made by men by it. Like, I don't think that makes any sense to me. He goes into how like betrayed he feels, how alone he feels, how he feels he doesn't, no one has his back. And I can understand that, just being black, being young, you feeling like you're doing things the right way, and still knowing in the back of your head you're privy to the exact same things that any other person who you feel is shit is. Essentially what this track ends up becoming is Joyner Lucas asking why good people die. And we all had that question for like our parents, or maybe for God if you were that spiritual that young, or maybe just in general when you were like 7, but you came to understand that no one's in control of this shit. Like, if there is a creator and you believe that, why can't you just believe that that creator made people and that was it? Or made conditions set for people to exist and that was it, and he left us the fuck alone? Maybe that's what happened. Did that ever come to your mind? Like, I don't believe that there's this big influence that people like to give the deities that they worship credit for. I think it's great, but maybe that's all there was to it. Maybe the life was the blessing, and whatever you do with it at that point is up to you. I like how we get right into the action. We get right into the frustration. He takes a sip of Henny. He's in his drunk bag. He's in his emotional bag. He's in his thoughtful bag, and he just lets loose. Not saying it's the most introspective or insightful track. I certainly didn't learn much other than Joyner's mental state when recording this song. I just think people have propped up and I'm not trying to say it in that way, but I just think people have propped up deities to the degree, and they've made them responsible for every little thing in their life, that whenever something goes wrong, it's immediately, why, God, why? My conditions and my life circumstances and life's conditions and life's circumstances are going to exist outside the bounds of any religion. So don't blame the deity that you worship for shit happening in life, because life isn't privy to what you are bound to in your religion. But that's all I've got to say about this Joyner Lucas the Devil's Work track. I like what he's trying to say, the message he's trying to get across. I think it's kind of cheesy, especially, like I said, given that we've all thought this way at one point at a younger stage in life, I assume, and managed to figure out a way to rationalize it. I just don't think this is really the way. But the intensity is there. The want to have the conversation is there, and I appreciate Joyner for that. Like I said, being a guy who is prioritizing the messages in his music more than just the bravado of being a rapper. But that's me. It's been real. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one, and I'm out. Peace.